Hello everyone, welcome to the Books of Morgan. I'm Morgan and today I'm going to show you my February TBR and my Contemporary-A-Thon TBR. Now, I have 14 books on my TBR for February. There are 29 days in the month because leap year, which is great, but this is so ambitious. I will be happy to read like 7 of these books because life is crazy and I work like 2 jobs. I'm in an internship, I'm in school full-time, like there's a lot going on. So this is my super ambitious TBR. I don't know how we're gonna do. I'm also trying to participate in the Contemporary-A-Thon this round, and I don't know. It's gonna be a rough one. 7 books in 7 days. I don't think I can do it, but I just wanted to show you the books that I do have for that readathon so that I can have something to grab during that week. All right, so the first books that I'm going to show you are my general books for the month of February that I want to read. So I only have 2 books that are on my TBR that I just want to read if I can. They're not like buddy reads, they're not like book club reads, they're not anything like that. They're just books that I would like to try to fit in if I can. And one of them is a chunker. So one book that I would like to read this month is The Other Boleyn Girl by Philippa Gregory. This is a Tudor historical fiction novel set during like Henry VIII's reign in London. Philippa Gregory is an iconic historical fiction writer, and I've never read one of her books. My grandma actually gave me this book, or no, we found it at a thrift store for $1, and she was like, "Morgan, you have to read this. It's so good. You would love it." That was like 2.5 years ago, and I still haven't read it. But I'm taking a history class right now called London 1550 to 1750, and we're talking about Henry VIII a lot, and it's just like inspired me to read more about him. Even though this is like historical fiction, like I'm intrigued by the time period now enough to pick this book up. So I would really like to get to this book because it's so timely in my studies at the moment. So yeah, this is one that I would like to read. I would also like to read a book of the month this month. So I know I have a lot of big books in my book of the month collection, but I wanted to pick the shortest one because I like need to get a book of the month read, and this was the shortest book I could find in my collection, and that was The Silence of the Girls by Pat Barker. This was the winner of the Booker Prize probably a couple years ago or a year ago. This is like less than 300 pages, so I'm hoping that I can get to this. Again, this is historical fiction centered around Greece and I think the women of like the Trojan War. So this is an historical fiction set in like the classical era in Greece, in Troy, but it's like a feminist retelling of like Helen and stuff. So I'm really intrigued by this book. I really want to read like feminist retellings. I read Circe last year. I thought it was good, but I wasn't super into it because I don't really care much about Greek mythology, but I'm hoping that I care more about Greek history, and this one will be good. I also bought this because the cover does match my tattoo that I have. Like I have a tattoo of a statue just like this on my arm, so that was another reason why I got this book, but I would like to read it this month if I can. Okay, next are books that I'm doing like buddy reads with. And the first book that I have is Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. I've never read this classic, but my book club decided to read it this month. We have like an IRL, like a real life book club. It's not like internet or anything, so like people can't really join it. Otherwise I would link it in the description box down below. But it's like my cousin and a few of her friends, and we're all reading Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. I've never read this book before and I've always wanted to. And I'm actually reading it right now, and I'm about like 25% of the way through, so I'm a good chunk into this, and it's interesting. I don't love classics very much, but I think we'll have a lot to talk about at our book club meeting. It's also just an excuse to hang out and like talk about books. So yeah, this is what we're reading. Next, I am doing an entire reread of the A Court in Thorns and Roses series. So I begged my cousin to read A Court of Thorns and Roses like over winter break, so in January, and she read it and loved it and is on A Court of Wings and Ruin right now. And I don't think she's like a super fast reader, but she was super compelled by the books and she just keeps buying one after the other, which like same. And we've been talking about like Rhysand and Feyre, and just like inspired me to like pick up this series and reread it, so that we can hang out and talk about the books and it's like still fresh in my mind. So I've actually reread A Court of Mist and Fury like 3 times already since I first read these like 2 years ago. But I have not reread A Court of Thorns and Roses, A Court of Wings and Ruin, and A Court of Frost and Starlight at all. But I just figured now would be a good time to pick these up and reread them. And I can fly through these books. Like, I've read them before. I think I can finish this entire series in a week or like less than that. So yeah, obviously A Court of Mist and Fury is my favorite book of like all time, and it's so good and it's so great. And if you haven't picked up the series, what are you doing with your life? I actually think this series is better than the Throne of Glass series. And I think a lot of people agree with me. It's not like a new take on that. But yes, I'm rereading the series this month. I'm going to start it as soon as I finish Wuthering Heights. Like, I'm obsessed with Sarah J. Maas books, but I'm excited to reread that. Okay, so those are all like my rereads, buddy reads, whatever. Now I'm going to get into my Contemporary-A-Thon reads. I think there's 7 prompts, or there's like 10 different prompts, I don't know. It's hosted by Chelsea Dowling Reads and Julie from Pages and Pens, and then My Reading is Odd, so Natasha is also hosting it, I think. I'm not sure if there's any other hosts, but if there are, I will link all their channels in the description box down below. I've actually never participated in Contemporary-A-Thons before. I don't tend to read a lot of contemporary books, but I want to be a part of this readathon, and all these ladies have really fun channels, and I just want to be a part of the conversation during that week. So I have 7 books on my TBR. I'm not going to read 7 books. I'm just going to put that out there. Like, it's not going to happen. I actually only have 4 physical books for that TBR. The other ones are just library books if I can get them in time. So I'll start with the physical books first. So one of the prompts is to read a dark or hard-hitting contemporary book. And I am choosing Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn, or Gillian Flynn. I don't know. And this follows a woman who like fakes her own kidnapping or murder and disappearance, and it's like a very psychological thriller. I've had this book on my bookshelf literally forever. I got it at a library sale for like $1, so I just haven't picked it up yet. It is definitely used, you can tell by the spine, but it doesn't bother me at all. I did watch the movie like 5 years ago or whenever it came out, and I really enjoyed the movie, so I don't remember a lot, but I'm interested in reading the book now. So I don't, again, read a lot of contemporary or hard-hitting stuff, so that should be interesting. Okay, the next book that I have for the next prompt is a new to you author, and I decided to pick up Undead Girl Gang by Lily Anderson. I've never read a Lily Anderson book, so it is new to me. I've heard mixed things about this book. Basically, this girl resurrects a cheerleader to find her murderer, and they're like this witchy girl gang zombie stuff. I don't know. Yeah, on the back it says "We're back, witches." So I am interested in reading this. I got this from Book Outlet for like a couple dollars, so it's been on my shelf for a couple months, and I'm interested in reading it. And it is a new contemporary author that I've never read before. Okay. The next prompt is a backlist title, and for this one I chose Royce Rolls by Margaret Stoll. I've heard that this book is really bad, and it follows someone on a reality television show, but it's like kind of scripted and stuff. I'm sure this is going to be a very cheesy contemporary book that is not going to change my life at all, but I've had this for over a year, and it's just been sitting on my shelf for a really long time, so now would be a good time to get to it. It's also published by Freeform Books, which is like a TV channel, so I don't think this is going to be anything magnificent, but hey, You never know. It could be amazing. It could change my life. Doubt it, but it could. Anyways, then I have one last physical book to show you, and the prompt for this one on the Contemporary-A-Thon is an illustrated cover. And I decided to pick up Emergency Contact by Mary H.K. Choi. I think this cover is gorgeous. I mean, look at this guy with his tattoos and like, I don't know, I love this cover so much, and it is illustrated. I think it looks super fabulous. It's basically a relationship between two college students, or a college dropout and a college student, and they have like mental illness. I think they have like anxiety and depression, and then they use each other to like talk through things with, and like over text message, I think. So this should be interesting. I've heard some good things about it, others not so great. I don't know. We will see how I feel about this book. Again, I'm not like a huge contemporary reader, so I don't know how much I'll love any of these books, if I'm being honest. But yeah, those are all the physical books that I have. I also have some ebooks from the library if I can get them. Another prompt for the Contemporary-A-Thon is to read a book with green on the cover, and I've decided to choose 1+1 by Jojo Moyes. I've never read Jojo Moyes before, but the entire cover is green, so it should be like a contemporary romance book. And then if I can get this from the library, I'm on hold for it, so if I get it in time, Queenie by Candace Williams something, I forgot her name, oops. Sorry about that. This is for a diverse book. Because it is Black History Month, I wanted to read a book with a Black main character. I would really like to get to this one. I've heard really good things about it, and I'm interested to see how I feel about it. And then the last book, finally on this TBR, is the prompt is Beloved by Another Creator, and I was struggling to figure out which book I should choose, or like what book I should choose for this prompt, because I don't know exactly which creators love which books, but then I remembered that Lala from Books and Lala really enjoys Radio Silence by Alice Oseman. She likes a lot of Alice Oseman books, if I'm correct in saying that. So if I can get my hands on a copy of Radio Silence, I will read that. And obviously I will link Books and Lala down in the description box down below if you haven't checked her out before. I mean, she's iconic on BookTube. So yeah, those are all the books on my TBR. It's ambitious. There's 29 days in February. I'm probably not going to finish all the books that I seek out to do, but I'm hopefully optimistic. I'm cautiously optimistic. I do believe in my reading capabilities, but I'm also aware that I have things going on in life. So those are all the books. Thank you so much for watching this TBR video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos from me, please hit that subscribe button, and I will see you later. Bye!